Welcome to the weekend. I'm hiding behind a tree because this is where the internet is. Welcome to Friday. I'm Nick Nunziata. I'm among your gracious hosts. As you can see, I'm out in the wild because the weather here is beautiful. We live in the tropics of Georgia. It's about 70 degrees. Not a bird in the sky. So we're here to celebrate nature itself, and nature itself is taking place in the form of water for elephants. I mean, glory be. They didn't screen it for us. Fucking Robert Pattinson's disease. Greatest movie ever sold by Morgan Stewart's Coming Home. We've got nothing else. You know what you don't see? Presentations like Harvard Magazine presents William Shakespeare's Hard Bodies. Modern Archaeologist presents The Ghoulies. You know, like something you get like this living legend of a Brit to announce it. It's like Derek Jacobi. His Royal Shakespeare's Company presents Vice Squad. You know, that would be fucking great. That's not what Derek Jacobi sounds like, though. Thor has come out in Australia. But whether he's a homosexual or not shouldn't matter whether we want to see it, does it? We're excited. Reviews are starting to pour out. People are liking it. People are saying Thor's not as bad as you thought. Makes you feel kind of silly. Chris Hemsworth is a strapping blonde boy in the movie with big muscles. And he lands here with a hammer and becomes one of the Avengers. That's pretty much the whole story. See it.
Hi Chewers, it's been kind of a slow news week, but there's still a few cool items that you should probably check out. Today was the news that Lindsay Lohan will indeed be in the John Gotti biopic, even though it seemed for a while like she wasn't going to be. I don't know who gave a shit, but that's the way it is. John Travolta, Joe Pesci still involved, the Gotti family is involved, it's a big fucking mess. Has no director. Nick Cassavetes stepped out, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Also news about the Ouija movie, one of the many Hasbro properties being inexplicably turned into a real movie, directed by McG, and is now being written by new writers. Check that out on the site. All other kinds of news. Poop.
Are you folks excited about Pirates of the Caribbean yet? There's a new trailer, and it shows things that happen in the movie. What a piece of shit. It looks like a fuck.
Also, debuting this week was episode 2 of the new Mortal Kombat web series. I think it got a little bit better reaction because there was a bit more visceral gore. Still waiting for the shit to really hit the fan on it. Again, I don't know why anybody really cares that much. Supposedly the new video game is pretty good though, so maybe check that out. Truck.
Smithsonian Magazine brings you Losing It. You know, that'd be fucking great.
We had a delightful Game of Thrones conversation on the podcast, which was lovely. The newest Morning Screw.
Oh yeah, we did.
Did another one of those.
You're welcome.
Might happen more. Is that?
I believe starting Monday we'll do at least 3 a week.
I think it'll be great. And you motherfuckers will call, and we will hear your delightful voices. You'll hear ours, and we'll exchange as many fluids as is possible over the phone.
The one thing I'll ask that if you do call in, don't try to be cool or have a shtick or have or ponder a ponderous tone to your voice.
We're not pretentious, unlike Derek Jacobi, as he presents Christopher Marlowe's The Dark Crystal.
I don't know. That almost fits too well.
The Dark Crystal is dog pussy. It's fine. It's fine. You know, the Dark Crystal's fine. Fucking Gelflings. It's hard for me to appreciate it as much as you nerds because I keep thinking of Frank Oz's hand up their ass, giving it. So when the Gelflings are like frolicking, all I can think of is a bunch of fists. And that gets me.
Do you have that problem with a lot of movies?
It
that
does.
You just can't get your fisting fixation?
And none of them are Stallone Union dramas.
I'm coming from behind this tree to tell you some heartbreaking news. Chud.com is changing. We're becoming a site devoted to hymnals and baptismals and the abyss.
I saw The Greatest Movie Ever Sold, which is the new feature-length documentary from Morgan Spurlock of Super Size Me. This one is all about product placement, and in fact the movie itself is about him courting products to fund the movie about, and it's a whole cyclical, very metatextual, but it's really cool. It doesn't come to any profound conclusions. It doesn't really have as much, I guess, philosophical insight as you might expect from him, but it's really worthwhile for just getting a real peek behind the curtain of how it works in the industry and how pervasive it is, and how things that you may not have ever even thought about were probably funded or were very much intentional. There's a small segment that's pretty fun with a group of filmmakers where they talk about their views. So you have Brett Ratner, you have I think Peter Berg, Quentin Tarantino, all kind of giving their various feelings about having to deal with product placement in their movies or going after it or whatever. So it's definitely worth your time, and we'll be having some kind of interesting interview with Morgan Spurlock himself at some point very soon. Video on demand. Big fucking issue this week, because the studio signed a deal with DirecTV that they can now launch theatrical titles 60 days after they're released for $30 in 1080p HD with surround sound to DirecTV HD DVR customers, which is about 6 million people right now. So $30 for a movie 60 days after it comes out to 6 million people. And right now the titles are kind of low rent. The best one that's coming is The Adjustment Bureau, but everything else is Cedar Rapids, Hall Pass. Just go with it. The Adam Sandler fuck myself. When they announced that they were going to do it, the theater owners got really upset and they shit everywhere. And then once they had recomposed themselves, they told the studios that if they moved forward with it, they would be forced to restrict time for trailers, space for movie posters, and advertisements in general in the theaters as a way to try and leverage what strength they have. That clearly has not worked, because they're still doing it. Apparently it starts yesterday, on Thursday.
That is a big-ass bumble pussy bee.
Yes, it is.
Hope he comes over here. Hope he swims around right here. Is that what they do? Swim?
Come here, dude.
Bumblebees are beautiful animals.
Sir.
I don't understand why people are afraid of bees, especially cute bumblebees.
The ones you can see, they don't even fuck with humans. They have no time for us anyway.
The ones you can see?
Yeah, the big fat one, like that guy. He's got no time for us.
Are there microscopic bees we need to fear?
Well, no, he's like big and fat. You can see him a mile away.
Not only that, he's a beautiful being.
He is.
All he wants to do is fuck a plant and then fuck another plant and make photosynthesis happen.
That's a Jesus bee.
Oh.
A carpenter bee.
Oh. Carpenter bees are
He's
actually...
also Jewish.
He's also singing horrible songs and getting anorexic. So I think video on demand, that whole argument's dog shit, because we live in an ever-changing world, that it's evolving. The business evolves. And the bottom line is that Hollywood has to find a way to evolve with it without ruining the purism. But at the same time, if there's still... If at the end of the day all the money is collected and the money's going to the people and to the studios, who the fuck cares how they do it?
So you don't think there's a chance that programs like this are going to murder the shit out of movie theaters, the smaller ones at least?
I don't think so, because movie theaters are doing fine, And the role of a movie theater is actually changing anyway. Let's not act like they're these hallowed halls of old where purism and the theater going experience is what it used to be. It's not. I mean, even though there are art house cinemas still in existence, this isn't going to affect them. What's going to affect them is that independent movie thrives and that foreign film thrives. We're still going to have the Alamos of the world and the Cinefamilies of the world. I'm not really worried about that. Thing is like going to the movies now is a burden. It's expensive. If you're going, you're not really going for that rush. You're going there because you need a place to go or you need a place for your kids to be. So that's not changing. The numbers are still great. People are still making a ton of money. The per screen averages are still fine. I mean, Avatar happened like 3 years ago. It's not like, it's not like we're like in the Great Depression. So hey, it evolves, and it probably won't succeed, and then they could pull it away, and nothing will have changed. But what's to lose? I don't understand it. It's like more chances for people to see your movie.
Yeah,
Lazy people especially.
I feel like there is like danger. I do see the point of, reducing incentive is going to kill the smaller theaters first. I just don't feel like this is the program that's going to do it because I don't think the selection is going to increase that quickly.
Do not underestimate Hall Pass.
This is true. I feel like it's dangerous if the price slid or if it was a more wide-reaching program. It's just, I guess it sets a dangerous precedent, and I guess maybe all these directors that have sent this letter are hoping to cut it before it becomes a monster that can't be stopped. But I think there's also...
Here, the real problem is studio receipt keeping. It's very hard to get paid, especially once your film leaves theaters. The home video numbers are fudged. The on-demand numbers are fudged. All of the hotel, all that stuff, all that money goes into all these different kitties. It goes into the machine and it's cleaned. And it's very hard for the talent to get that money or to get their fair shake. I think that's why people are complaining, because it's just another bit of red tape they have to cut through to get their money. And you're not going to see, Scott Kahn complaining about this because he's not getting a percentage of the back end. I think it's really about money, and I think it's not about ruining theaters. It's not about ruining filmmaking or ruining people's willingness to be a part of it, because ultimately you have a better chance of reaching people with more ways for them to see your movie. It's just a matter of the bookkeeping. If the bookkeeping's not sound, and if the studios, and they are guilty as hell, if they don't protect their talent the right way, then yeah, that's where the trouble's going to happen. But who cares?
Yeah,
I saw Empire Strikes Back on my ViewMaster.
Well, I think the biggest problem, and this is, it's affected the newspapers and the magazines, and it affected the music industry first because the music is smaller and more ephemeral or whatever. But eventually, it's going to reach movies the same way as that. Not only is media getting democratized, there's more crap for more people to watch. So, like, you can watch what you specifically want to, and mass culture is kind of splintering. It's not only just the content itself, it's the way we're going to reach it. And ultimately, things are going to shake out so that there are people that will see movies in a movie theater, there are people that will watch it on their TV, and there's people that will watch it on their phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're not going to be able to fight against the people how they want to see things forever. Eventually, things are going to have to shake out so that the movie theater industry is going to have to bring it down to demand. And the demand is going to shrink down to the hardcore people like you and presumably me that want to go see a movie in a theater. And, you can't force people that aren't really inclined to go to the theater. You can't force that onto people forever. You can't constrict you can't constrict the market so that's all they can do. You can't do that forever.
Yale University presents The Replacement Killers.
We finally come up with a name for our Friday segment, but we don't remember which one we like. So we're gonna go another week without one. I'm gonna go back behind this tree.